Hi, I'm Patrick. Welcome to Rhythm University. In this segment, I'm going to show you how to use the Rhythm software to get into an effective do rhythm. Rhythm gives you a platform to think, plan, and do. And in my book, also called Rhythm, I show many case studies on how these three simple rhythms provide a proven method to help companies punch through difficulties as they grow. So right now I'm going to focus this segment on the do rhythm to help you to prepare for and to be successful every single one of your 13 weeks in your 13-week race for the quarter. I like to say that nothing happens unless you do the work. So this is the doing part of our rhythm. So this is why do rhythm is important to your execution. It needs to help you increase your speed. You're going to be able to make better decisions faster. And then I've never known a plan that did not need to make the right adjustments to win. When I say make the right adjustments, to be clear, I don't mean changing your plan. Rather, I mean adjusting your execution to achieve your plan. So let me say that again. When I say adjustments, I don't mean changing your plan or adjusting your plan. I mean making the right adjustments in your execution to actually achieve your plan. So, chapter 9 of my book, nothing happens until you do the work. And so you have to prepare. You have to prepare well. So, the do rhythm helps you over 13 weeks to have great weeks. And to do that, you need to meet with yourself, reflect, and prepare for great weekly adjustment meetings with your team members. And then, I call these other adjustment meetings as you need them. Just call them to solve specific problems. So to prepare for a great week, you have to make sure that you reflect. And so when you status, don't just status how you're doing on your priorities, rather reflect on how you're doing, what actions can you do better. If a status is status red or yellow, what is the corrective action plan that you could suggest? And then check your attitude. You will be successful. You can't do it if you can't see it. So prepare well, reflect, and then come to the meetings well prepared to have a great meeting with your team. And so, I've noticed the following that great leaders really reflect and prepare well. The number one thing that leaders have to do is to maximize their team, themselves, and so maximize your time with your team. And you do that by preparing well. So let me show you how you do that in Rhythm. Go to the main menu, click on Weekly Meeting Prep. And I suggest you do this at the end of the week. And so down the left side is the menu items, or rather is the agenda items I'd like you to follow. The first section are the KPIs, the key performance indicators that you own, that you need to status. So maybe in week 5, it may look something like this, as you've gone along and you've statused. And then the next section shows you the group priorities that you own. Now, it doesn't show you every single company priority that a company has, but rather the ones that you are accountable for. This is so that you can really focus on what you're supposed to status on and accountable to the team on performance. And then the next one is your individual priorities. These are the list of priorities that you are accountable for, to help the team achieve. And then if you click on the arrow down here, you'll see some key milestones that you need to get done for that quarter. So then the next thing you do is you take a look at your actions list. See if there's any who, what, when items that are due, that are overdue, anything that you should have done this week that you didn't do, that you still have time to get done. So reflect on that. And then the reflection piece, your week in sync or your weekly adjustment meetings. So in these weekly notes, document what a successful week will look like. Celebrate the victories from the last week that you just finished. And what are your priorities for this upcoming week? And then finally, do you have any feedback from any clients or any employees? So by doing this, you've now prepared yourself well for the week ahead. And I would take about 20 minutes to do this. Okay, now let's go on to the next section. Now you want to see how you can have great meetings with your team and make the right adjustments. And so you in these weekly adjustments meetings, here's some key things to help you. Use a facilitator and then review each other's dashboards before coming to the meeting so that everybody can come prepared with insights. So one key point that's very different here in these meetings is to come well prepared. These weekly meetings are very expensive. Your executive team or your work team are all in a room for an hour or two. And that's a very expensive meeting. So instead of coming in and reviewing everyone's status, Review it ahead of time so you can actually come and have discussions. So here's a bold comparison on how your weekly adjustment meeting should compare in effectiveness to your weekly status meeting, the typical meeting. 80% of your time should be spent on solutions versus status. You want to focus on the future. What are you actually going to do? Don't focus on the past or lay blame on things that aren't working. Rather, focus on accountability for the purposes of making adjustments to succeed. And then ask the team how to focus on the company plan. What other adjustments do we actually need to make? So let me bring up Rhythm and show you how to do that. So if you go here, you click on the menu item and you go to weekly meeting. And again, what you'll notice is that down the left side is the agenda for your weekly meeting. The first thing you want to do is review any KPIs, key performance indicators. And you can look at it as dashboard view, energy map view, showing you which priorities are connected to which KPIs, your 30-week dashboard, and any specific dashboards that you may have created. Then look at your company energy map. Now this is different for when you were preparing, right? So now you actually see all the company priorities for the whole company because now you're meeting with your team. So you see the full list of company priorities and the energy map on the right side. Every square here represents a priority and the current status that somebody has. And then you walk down and you talk about your individual focus. So each person now can go through their list of what their priorities are. And if you have questions about that person's things that he or she owns, you look again at these are the specific things that he or she owns down here on the right side, right? These are the action items that that person has, individual priorities, company priorities, everything that this person owns. And as you go through your meeting, each person reports out what are the things that they're going to do this week. As you can see, this person reports out and this person reports out. After that, you then review your all actions list. What are the things that everybody owes the team for this week? And then commit to that. I think it's important to commit to this in front of everyone so that you will actually get them done. And then review your customer feedback or any employee feedback and have a discussion there. All the great companies stay in touch well with their clients. So I do recommend that you make sure you spend at least 10 minutes talking about feedback from your customers. Then you have a parking lot for things that you didn't have time to discuss. So that's your weekly adjustment meeting. So let's take a look at your other adjustments. Well, somebody asked me, Patrick, when should I call an adjustment meeting? Well, your weekly meeting is a regular scheduled meeting. But if you have problems or if you have something that came up that surprised you, could be positive, could be negative. Adjustment meetings don't have to be negative or to solve crises. They could be because something great happened, and you want to think through with your team how to actually scale that to the whole company. So where do you record this in Rhythm? Well, if you go to the main menu, look at other meetings, it lets you now create a place for your other meetings. Hit new, and you can document your meeting, what the action items are, or who, what, when, what are the meeting notes, and any documents you want to attach to actually help people have a better meeting. So that's how you document your other meetings as well. Rhythm can be and should be with the one place for all your action items. One place that you need to execute everything to make you and your company successful. So in this segment, I covered the Do Rhythm, how you can have 13 great weeks every quarter. The only way to have a great year is to have 4 great quarters. And the only way to have a great quarter is to have 13 great weeks. And the only way to do that is to have a great week every single week. So I covered how to prepare, how to make faster, better decisions in your weekly meeting, and how to actually have other adjustment meetings as well. I want to just share with you before we close up here, in Good to Great, this quote from Good to Great, Jim Collins' book, all the case studies showed that overnight successes happen over a long, long time. Walmart was an overnight success that was 20 years in the making. So, be encouraged. Your Do Rhythm will help you to make adjustments after adjustment after adjustment, one click at a time towards becoming great.